Hi, my name is Eva. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and in today's video I would like to go over everything that I wish I had known before my double jaw surgery. And if you're interested, stick around, grab yourself a snack, and let's get into it. So I actually made myself a little structure of the things that I want to speak of in this video. And looking back to all the videos that I watched before I had my surgery, no one starts 1 week before the surgery. For me, that was a really interesting experience. And 1 week before my surgery, I went to see my surgeon. He looked at my teeth. He wanted to see if they're going to align. They also took an x-ray of my jaws, and they took a little imprint of my teeth. They ask you to bite on a substance that's wax-like, and so they can make a small plastic mold that's going to go in your mouth during the surgery, and it's going to stay there for 10 days after the surgery. It's actually going to be fixated onto your teeth, and it's just like a little guide to help them do it properly and align your jaws and teeth properly during the surgery. So that's pretty much it for what happens 1 week before. 1 day before, you come to the hospital, or at least I came to the hospital, and I spoke to my anesthesiologist. So your anesthesiologist is going to ask you about your health, and he is going to ask you what medication you take. So if you take any, I suggest you prepare a list. I mean, I assume you know what you take. For me, I didn't take anything. I do not take any medication, so it was quite easy. But just so you know, before every surgery, you will have to know what you take. So then, still a day before, the nurses in the evening are probably going to bring you a little pill that's going to calm your nerves, just because a lot of people, including me, got very, very, very nervous. I actually cried the night before because I was just afraid, like you never know what's going to happen. And yeah, the little pill just takes that anxiety kind of away. Then on the day of the surgery, basically in Germany, they always do it in the morning just in case there are any complications, as far as I understand, so they can help you out on time. And you're pretty much done by noon. When you wake up, or at least when I woke up, I noticed that there was a tube running down my nose and through my throat all the way to my stomach. It was there to help take out all the blood that was draining into my stomach during the surgery. A lot of people do not mention that here on YouTube. I don't know if it's because it's not allowed. Maybe they didn't have it, but I did have it. And when I woke up with it, I could feel it in my throat. It was really uncomfortable. And I just wish someone would have told me about it before I noticed it or before it happened, because this way it felt just horrible. It was also like a moment like, something was done to me that was not announced, you know? Yeah, that's pretty much it for what you know when you wake up. So, pain wise, you are not going to be in a lot of pain immediately after waking up, because you're still drowsy on a lot of medication that they give you during the surgery. Pain starts to kick in a few hours later, and nurses are probably going to bring you some pain medication in form of syrup and ice packs. However, I would, so after my surgery, I would request a lot of ice packs very frequently. And then nurse told me that basically you are not allowed to cool off your face that often or that much, because your nerves can get damaged and wound won't heal properly. So they would basically not give it to me every time I would ask for it, but just don't overcool it. So after 3 days of horrible hospital food, basically I just had soup and nothing else. They sent me home with probiotics, and they sent me home with mouth washing liquid. Obviously, after surgery, you cannot open your mouth. I didn't have wires on my teeth. I just had like little elastics that would hold my jaws together. I could separate my teeth very little, but nothing to the extent where I could chew. Also, your jaw in the first 6 months after surgery is very, very not mobile like it was before. Like you cannot open your mouth as wide as you could before. I do not know why that is, but it goes away. Like you get used to it, it flexes, everything gets again to the normal, and everything is okay. So when I got home from the hospital, I would just try and have a lot of high protein foods, a lot of smoothies, everything just to get all of the nutrients in to myself to heal as fast as I can. I didn't go to work for the first 2 weeks after my surgery. However, in the third week, I felt like I could and I felt better. And I also craved that social interaction that I get from my work. So if you feel able to, in the week 3 after your surgery, you can totally go to your work as long as you're not in pain, as long as your stitches are not infected or something like that, because I promise you're going to miss that normal life. And when you're stuck at home and all you can think about is food and you cannot properly eat, you're going to miss that social interaction as well to distract you a little bit and to help you out through that period. So, after discussing the food, I guess we can go on to the pretty obvious thing. It's the weight loss. I actually lost 10 kilograms after my surgery in the first few weeks until I could transfer to solid food. I don't know exactly how long did it take me to start eating solids, but I know that I intentionally drank smoothies longer than I needed to just because I was so scared that I would damage my jaw or that my plates would move and that it wouldn't heal properly. And if you don't know, if your jaw doesn't heal properly, you are probably going to have to redo it, and they cannot redo it immediately. You have to wait until it heals and then you have to go and do it again, and it's just a lot of pain. So I was quite aware of that, and I was intentional, like with not eating solids. I would just drag it out as long as I could, and I would just drink smoothies. And with that, because of that, I lost a lot of weight as well. On another topic, I want to discuss about my doctors. I have to say, my surgeon was very nice, and my orthodontist was so helpful with this. She is such an angel. I love her so much. She actually answered every one of my questions. If I ever had a question about what I can eat or what I cannot eat, I would just have to call them and ask them. They would answer everything to me and just help me and guide me through it, because double jaw surgery is really intense mentally as well as physically. Also, another point is that you cannot do sports for 6 weeks after your surgery. And this was really difficult for me because I do archery. Archery is a sport where you come really close to your face and you anchor under your chin. And of course, you do not want to mess up your face, you do not want to touch it. So that kind of had to suffer for a while, and I couldn't do anything else. I also couldn't go to the gym. Moving on to the helpful tips. Obviously, a lot of people on the internet have advice videos about how they best survived their surgery. For me, one tip that I would not recommend is drinking your liquids with a syringe, just because my syringe would sometimes get stuck and I would get so scared that I was going to hit myself in my face and ruin my jaw. And I just didn't want to go through another surgery. So I would say ditch the syringes. And the best way to go about it is to use these ketchup bottles from American restaurants. This one guy suggested it. I'm going to put his YouTube on the screen. That was actually a genius trick. What I would do, because I didn't get the ketchup bottles, is I would just drink from a normal protein shaker. Later on, when I was transitioning to solid foods again, I would also soak bread into my soup, and that's how I would get more satiated, just because there was some kind of volume. It was not just liquid that I would be eating. Then another suggestion that I see a lot online is to use a water flosser. I asked my orthodontist if I should do it, and she said no, because it can really mess up your healing process on your stitches. So you should wait with a water flosser for at least like 2 weeks after the surgery, and then maybe start using it. But even then, for me, sometimes it was kind of painful, so I wouldn't do it too often. Just see how you feel and go with the feeling, I would say. Moving on, a lot of people suggest that you use baby toothbrushes to brush your teeth. That is actually amazing. It worked out so good for me because the big toothbrush, you cannot, it really hurts because you're so swollen in your face. It really hurts to put it in your mouth and to brush all the way in the corners of your mouth. So having a baby toothbrush is a must-have. Just pick the prettiest one. I think mine was a shark or something like that. I don't know if I still have it. If I do, I'm going to insert a picture. Yeah. Other than that, try and make sure that you have a food processor, a blender, or a blender stick. I hope that's how it's called, because these things are really going to save you and help you out. I didn't really buy a lot of supplements when it comes to my food. I didn't have to. Another great tip is to use baby spoons when you transfer to solids, just because you will not be able to open your jaws wide, so you're not going to be able to use normal spoon immediately after your surgery when you start eating solids. So baby spoons and baby toothbrushes, best combination ever. So the things that you can do to make yourself feel better or more comfortable is to sleep with elevated back. I did that for like 10 days, also because I was very scared of sleeping on my side, because again, I didn't want to mess up my jaw. So I would just sleep straight and with two pillows behind me. Another great tip would be to get out of the house. You will not feel like it. You will have zero energy. You will probably want to complain, but just try and go on a short walk, and it's going to do wonders for your mental health. And my last tip that I didn't see anyone really say to anyone, especially if you live in Europe and you do not have air conditioning at home, do not do the surgery in summer. Just don't. It's going to make you probably feel worse. I would recommend you do it in the winter, just because it's a little bit colder outside. It's going to be, I guess, also a little bit colder on your face, and it's going to make you feel a little bit more comfortable. Because in the summer, I had to actually overnight sometimes get up and get myself a new ice pack every 2 hours, which didn't really help my sleep. So if you don't have AC, yeah, just do it in the winter. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for sticking around. If you have any questions, please ask in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. I would love to answer any questions anyone has, just because I know how it is and how it feels to go through this.